Be careful trying to predict anything in Mountain Dew ATV motocross. At our last race at Ironman Raceway in Indiana, Joel Hetrick overcame an early mistake to go on to take the moto win. While Chad Wienen battled past his teammate Thomas Brown to finish second, the fifth straight victory for Hetrick gave him the series points lead. But then rain came down before Moto 2, and everything was shaken up when Hetrick went down hard. He'd finished 14th, giving the points lead back to Chad Wienen. But the overall win? For the first time this year, it's Thomas Brown on top. More unpredictable racing next. Welcome to MavTV's coverage of the Mountain Dew ATV National Motocross Championship, sanctioned by AMA Pro Racing. I'm your host, Jason Wygant, and we are at the beautiful Sunset Ridge Motocross Park in Walnut, Illinois. It's round 7 for our pro riders, round 6 for the other riders competing in the amateur classes. And you can see the whole community, including Joel Hetrick there, multi-time race winner in the middle with the gray hat and the pink feathers, getting into this. Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation. We're going to raise some money and support for them. We've got a pink-themed track walk going on here in the mud and all. And a lot of the riders will be switching their machines over to pink plastics and graphics. Yes, many creative ways to show your support to finding a cure for breast cancer. A little wild card as far as the racing is concerned. Huge rain on Friday. Track crew trying to reclaim this place. You can see the amateur riders out there now. It is darn right sloppy, but the fans of motocross know it's rain or shine, so we're going to clean the machines up and go racing here on Saturday regardless. So let's take a tour of the pro pits, and we mentioned the pink livery on these machines. Ronnie Higgerson and Casey Martin getting in on it. Cody Jansen as well. Pretty much everyone has pink somewhere, even the Yamaha of Jesse Barnes mixing pink in with the traditional Yamaha colors. And now that the rain has cleared, riders are out and about. Here's the veteran Joe Bird at Tech Inspection with Harv Whipple from AMA Pro Racing. Silas Lamons, Vaitu Casanave getting into the act as well. There is Hetrick, and his number 88 is decked out for the cause as well. Let's get down to the serious business of racing. The Wienen Motorsports team now has the points lead back. Chad Wienen, consistency, as always, has powered him to the top. And as everyone gets into this day of racing, we're wondering what direction will it go. You had the mid-season surge from Joel Hetrick, the consistency of Wienen, and this man, Thomas Brown, finally breaking through and getting a win at our last event. He clearly likes riding in the mud.
Last round in Indiana, we came off with a win. We went 3-1 for the overall. The mud came in and really helped us out. As far as the first moto, we were third, and we had a good start. And man, Joel and Chad had that pace turned up, but I was able to cut that down from the previous race in the second moto. With all mud, I just knew I had to get a start and got out front and led every lap. I was pretty pumped on it, and man, looking here to Walnut to repeat. We're definitely a little drier today than we were yesterday here in Illinois, but as far as this race, I like the sand. I'm pumped. We're a little closer in qualifying, and I won here last year, so I'm hoping to repeat that this year and make up some points.
Okay, good to hear the track appears to be drying out. Let's check in with Chad Wienen, your previous and once again series points leader. Consistency carrying the day, but this is his home race. Forget top 3. He wants to win it.
All right, we just came off of a second place finish at Ironman, and we're coming to Illinois, my hometown track, and I grew up here racing, and the weather's been kind of iffy, but it's looking like we're probably going to get a pretty decent day in, and I got a lot of hometown friends and family that are coming out to really give me that extra push at the end of the motos, and I'm really looking forward to trying to go out and get a win and get back on the top step of the box.
Let's check in with the veteran Josh Upperman, switched to a new team this year with Root River Racing. He's always known for the good starts and a darn strong rider as well. Let's check in with him.
All right, at the last round at Ironman, I did really good. We had some really good starts. Bike was feeling really good. I felt really good on the track, and I fell back to 4th in the first moto, ended up 4th that moto. In the second moto, Ended up third, which gave me a third overall, so I got on the box for the first time, and for the first time for Root River. It was really cool, and everybody was super happy and super stoked for me. Just looking to do that again here at Sunset Ridge, and sun finally came out and the track's drying up, and I think it's going to be a really good weekend. I normally do really good here, so I'm anxious to get on the track and see what we can do.
We're also going to check the rules. Our riders meeting underway. Then we will have qualifying and your first moto. So stay with us here on MavTV. Racer TV is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by AMSOIL. Time to rack them up and roll them out for qualifying. It's both practice and qualifying in ATV motocross, so they're going to be learning the track but also going as fast as they can. Hey, good to see Jeff Rastrelli back. Saw him a few clips ago. Injured his back in a crash at our previous event. We'll see how he does today. And we've unleashed him. That's Chad Wienen, the big man. Yes, his home track, very comfortable on this terrain. And yeah, what was once a muddy track has now become a little drier and back to its traditional sandiness. And all the riders like that. Hetrick throwing it sideways. He has been the ATVRiders.com fast qualifier at almost every race this year. Going to try to make it hold up today. See the 84 of Thomas Brown. Trying to build off the momentum of that last race win. We've seen what confidence can do. And here's Josh Upperman, who we talked to earlier. Upperman could really play the spoiler role, especially if he gets those starts dialed in. Casanave, who we mentioned earlier, has been pretty surprisingly fast this year. The number 5 opening up some eyes. Good job for him. And that'll open up some eyes, hitting the big uphill jumps. There is Rastrelli, back injury and all. Going to go for it today and go for the big jumps as well. And then it's Nick Janusa out of New Jersey. It's Casey Martin here on the 75. And this is Silas Lamons. I normally credit the guy for running the Suzuki, but it's hard to tell today because all the machines are the same color. They're pink. That is still a Suzuki. Nicholas Cavigliacio on the 68 coming by. Oh, and a nice set of whoops opening up right in front of the fans as well. If you're going to build a sand track, put some good whoops in it, folks. That was Tyler Hamrick. This is Sean Taylor showing you how to tear that section up. And a 422, David Hogsma, who races out in the desert, but has proven very fast here in motocross. 5th fastest. Hetrick on top of qualifier number 1. And I'm going to give it away here. Qualifier number 2, guess what? He does it again. ATVRiders.com Fast Qualifier Awards. Hetrick has plenty of those this year. But he needs to turn that speed into a win today. Try to get back on top in the points race. And we'll start paying points next. Moto 1 from Sunset Ridge after this. Racer TV is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by AMSOIL. Well, gate prep time. Dig down deep enough and you'll still find some mud on a Saturday. Oh, and I see storm clouds in the back as well. This has been a year dotted by unpredictable weather and unpredictable racing. Jeff Rastrelli back in action for us and going to run the Rocky Mountain ATV MC onboard early in this moto. We're ready to drop the gate. A rolling start attempt, and I think it worked. It was a good jump, but Rastrelli getting pinched off. And on the inside, it's the 88 of Hetrick. And Wienen right with him, and it's the battle everyone wanted to see. And Wienen making the outside work. Trying to make a pass, and we're on board with Rastrelli just outside of the top 5. He just got pulled, I think, as they pulled their first shift after going over the gates. Oh, almost comes into contact with Joe Burr there, the number 7. And still battling. Hetrick and Wienen. It's what every race fan hopes for every weekend. These two battling not only for the title, but wheel to wheel for the race wins. And Wienen finally able to lock it down, secure the gap. And now it'll be up to Hetrick to try to fight back. A 10-point lead right now in the standings for Wienen, all based on that crash in the second moto for Hetrick at our last race in Indiana. Hetrick had won 5 straight motos at that point, and he's already down to the inside and showing some wheels to your leader. And this has been so fun to watch, these two duking it out the last couple of races. And it really is the battle we've been waiting for, not just today, not just this year, but the last few years. Wienen in control of this series with 3 straight championships, but Hetrick has been the young gun, the fast kid through the amateur ranks, now dominating in qualifying week in and week out. And he has won a couple of these straight-up fights with Wienen this year. And nice the way this track has worked itself in with multiple lines. Let's check back in with these guys. Casanave, Upperman, and Rastrelli battling for 4th, 5th, and 6th. And like I said, look at how this track has worked in with multiple lines on the corners. You got some of these bumps on the inside, and then the smooth line on the outside. As Wienen opens it up just a little bit from Hetrick. And Thomas Brown settling into 3rd. That is an all too familiar position for him. We mentioned those 3 riders battling it out, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Look how close this pack is. You take Hetrick and Wienen out of the game, and you've got unbelievable racing. Brown, Casanave, Upperman, Rastrelli now under fire. We also have Brett Music in the hunt and David Hogsma as we go back to our leaders, Wienen and Hetrick. And now the question is Hetrick sitting back here waiting and hoping for a mistake, or is this all he has? It's high drama right now. These two have separated themselves from the field. Look at the lead they have over some great racing behind them. Brown, Upperman, and the rest trying to solve the riddle that is Wienen and Hetrick as they dominate here. But which one of them is going to take the win? Stay with us. Racer TV is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by AMSOIL. Battle continues to rage here at Sunset Ridge Motocross in Illinois, and Illinois' own Chad Wienen leads the way on the Wienen Motorsports Maxxis Yamaha, and it's the Corrosion Specialties Hetrick Racing Honda. Joel Hetrick in 2nd, Thomas Brown, Josh Upperman still 3rd and 4th. Brown on the Moto Experts Maxxis Yamaha and the Root River Racing Honda. That's what Upperman's on top of. And Hetrick is all over, or even on top of, Wienen trying to find an opening. Go back to 3rd and 4th. Brown has been so strong all year and won the last race overall, but it's going to take an error from these two for him to catch up in this moto. They've opened up nearly a 30-second gap over everyone else. But a lot of racing to go. Hetrick, every time I think that Wienen has this thing assured, Hetrick's able to close back up, and he's done it right here. And I go back to the same question that I had at the top of this moto, which is he waiting for an opening? Is he biding his time, or are these guys just full out max? And look, Wienen opens it back up again, and you can hear some of the fans on the side of this track. There's no doubt they want Wienen to win it. This is his home racetrack. And he comes in here as the points leader, but Hetrick has given him all he can handle this year as we go back to Brown, who's broken away just a little bit from Upperman. Upperman needs a mistake and a little bit of a stumble, actually, for Brown out of that right-hander. Hetrick is back on the rear tires of Wienen. Oh, this is going to be good. Wienen pulling back away. Every time you think you have this figured out, it changes. And I got to give Wienen credit. He has been so consistent en route to winning these titles the last few years. But I think this year, the pace that Hetrick has put forth has made Wienen have to go even harder and faster. And he's done a great job of doing just that and still maintaining the consistency. Look at Hogsma. He was in 8th place early in this moto. And the Desert Racer once again showing impressive speed at a motocross track. He's up to 5th. White flag is out, last lap. So if Hetrick is going to pull it off, he's going to have to find something now in the clutch. He's definitely had his chances in this moto, but was never quite close enough to run the wheels in on your leader, Chad Wienen. And Wienen continues to be cool under fire. You see Hetrick trying an inside line there, just trying to keep the heat on, letting Wienen know he's back there. Here we go. Last turn. Wienen takes a look over his shoulder. He's got a straight-up victory in Moto number 1. Hetrick gave it quite a run. Also had that SSI Decals Whole Shot Award. Wienen pulled the move outside of turn 1. There's the rest of your top 5. Wienen's already talking to Rodney Tomlin on the podium.
Mikey Walsh over here on trim.
We're ready for Moto 2. Crews are already down there preparing. Uh-oh, more rain and mud. We know this wreaked havoc on the gang last time. Look, they're swapping in the bigger, chunkier mud tires. Now you see some sunshine out, and Wienen already at the line focusing on this. It's not going to be quite as bad as that second moto at Indiana, but we do have standing water, as you can see. Gates down. The start is so critical in a mud race, and for the second week in a row, Moto 2 SSI Decals Whole Shot Award. No, I thought for sure it was going to Thomas Brown, but Rastrelli stole it. And Brown quickly back around him, and it's so key because these guys are covered in mud. So Brown trying to pull the trick. Oh no, what has happened? He's just threw his goggles away. Well, that's going to be a disaster for him. He has to try to stay out front. He has Rastrelli right behind in second. But actually, as we get another look at it, I think Brown has pulled the trick on the field. He ran the double goggles. Yes, one pair of goggles over the other. Used them just for the start. Look at Rastrelli. His main pair of goggles are gone. Brown threw off the first pair of goggles and still has a fresh set and the lead. Brilliant strategy. And he's trying to take advantage and win this one with Wienen in second. Racer TV is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by AMSOIL. Oh, Thomas Brown. There's riding smart, and then there's outsmarting the competition. Oh, we got a pile up back here. Someone is stuck. We're on the lookout, by the way, for Joel Hetrick. There he is. So Hetrick started about 5th. He's got some work to do in the mud. And in the mud, you're catching so much roost from the other riders, it's hard to see. So let's talk about our leader again. Thomas Brown ran 2 goggles. I don't know how he was able to see well enough to get that good start. And then once he had the lead, he threw the first set of goggles away. So all that mud off the start, that's on a pair of goggles that he's already discarded. Now that he's out front, he'll probably have clear vision for the rest of this moto. And I don't know if Chad Wienen in second can go get him. Rastrelli third. Hetrick trying to get him for third in 4th. And this bad start in the mud race was not what Hetrick needed. He does not want to give up more points. As we watch Silas Lamons cheering his buddies on, he is straight up stuck. So might as well enjoy the moto, one of the best seats in the house. Hetrick trying an inside line. It's so hard to pass in these muddy races. And Rastrelli, who's just back from a back injury, got to give him credit for fighting like this, not handing it over to Hetrick at all. As Brown continues to motor away. Wienen looks comfortable here in second, but I don't see him doing anything crazy. He'll still get the overall with a first and a second today, whereas Brown would have a third and a first. So I think he's staying out of the roost zone, staying out of trouble. If he has to deal with Hetrick, then he's going to race him. But as long as he's ahead of that 88 in each moto, he's going to extend the points lead, and that's really what he's concerned with. Let's go back to this fight. Hetrick, sideways all over the place, finally made the move on Rastrelli. So here's the battle. Can Hetrick catch Wienen and make it a fight for second? And heck, even if he does, will he be able to see well enough to pass him? I have to say, I think the track has come around a little bit here, so maybe the vision won't be quite as much of a factor as it first looked. White flag is out. Thomas Brown, who still looks pretty clean. He's got to deal with some lap traffic, though, here. It's Joe Bird. I think Joe Bird trying to wave him by. Lap traffic, the only thing that could stop him, and he's cleared Bird now. So Brown looks over his shoulder. He does not see Wienen, who has been very smart back here. And Wienen has proven he can play the consistency game the last couple of years, but as recently as the first moto, but today he showed he can go as fast as anyone if that's what it takes. So Thomas Brown takes the moto win, and that always feels good. It's not going to be enough to win the overall. You take the checkered flag first in any event, and you're pumped, but it is Wienen who will take the overall victory. Hedrick will finish up third. Hogsma fourth. Well done for him. Let's talk to our winners.
I was feeling really comfortable today. Ended up taking the win first moto, and man, second moto about an hour before, man, started raining again, man, and you know, we had a great mud setup, and a lot of guys decided not to go with the mud setup, and man, Thomas and I nailed it, and he ended up getting the hole shot, and I followed in behind him. I was probably about fourth or fifth, but man, made some quick passes right away, and just rode it to the finish in second for the 1-2 overall, and so happy on the day. Awesome fans here today, and man, guys here at Sunset Ridge had their work cut out for them, but they gave us a great racetrack to race on today.
Man, Moto 1, we came out of the gates about fifth. Got to third by a second or third lap, but Joel and Chad were gone. Just couldn't reel them in. They had a great race, great pace, and I wasn't. I didn't have it. Moto 2, once again the rain started coming down, and man, like I said before, our setup's on point. I got the whole shot, led every lap. I got past at one point and made a quick pass back, but man, like I said, it's a great moto. We got a whole list of people behind us, but man, the whole team just worked out great, and man, we got a good mud setup. We just got to work on our dry speed a little bit more, but we're getting closer. I'm ready for Millville, and I'm stoked to head up to the Spring Creek there and put some good laps down.
Moto 1 came out with first on the whole shot. Chad got around me pretty early. He pulled a little gap on me, and from a mistake of mine, I pulled the gap up. Like the last 2 laps, I think, just wasn't enough though. I figured the second moto I'd come out and give him another run for his money, but we got some heavy rain, and track was not up to par. And it was just another mud race like Ironman, and I did what I could. I got third in that moto, third overall. 2-3, didn't lose that many points. We're gonna go to Millville, try to gain some points back and rip it up.
Well, Hedrick ripped it up early today. Here's your AMSOIL race recap. First moto, he grabs the SSI decals whole shot, but Wienen was able to get by him, and they went at it the entire way. Hedrick keeping the heat on. Good racing behind them as Thomas Brown takes third. Wienen just takes the moto victory, which would prove huge in the overall because it rained before Moto 2. Nice strategy here. Thomas Brown running double goggles, throws the first set off, has crystal clear vision, goes on to win the race. But the third in the first moto and the first in the second moto will be edged by Wienen, who had a first and a second, and continues to extend that points lead. Congrats to Chad Wienen. I'm Jason Wygant for everyone at Racer TV. Thanks for watching.